So this video definitely didn't go as planned. Since I'm starting the new YouTube channel, I had purchased a microphone so that I could do some voiceovers. And I thought it would be some nice experience to redo one of the videos for the baseball YouTube page and do some voiceovers on it, as well as go into a little bit more detail and just add some scores to it and just gonna go full on all out, which I don't go full on all out too often, trying to do scores as well as like zoom in and angle cuts from time to time on too many of them because it's just way too time consuming. So I did all this video, looked all nice, looked good. Honestly, it took me most of a day to do it. And that's partially because the scoreboard, I just couldn't get it accurate because I couldn't find a couple of the runs that I missed scoring, because there was a couple times where I was focusing on the play that was happening and someone tagged up and kind of came in. So I had to redo a couple things, and then I realized, oh no, I actually mentioned the score. So that score was wrong at that point of the game. So I had to go back and kind of do that. So it was kind of time consuming because I made some errors. But then also, it just wouldn't format. And I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't format. So then I went to the internet, went to YouTube, went to a bunch of different things to try to figure out what went wrong. And, I was getting an error message saying like there was a faulty or corrupt cell, but all the cells looked perfectly fine. And then I found a way to do calculations on figuring out which cell it was, remove those cells, still wasn't working. So I ended up deleting 25% of the video and just redoing that part of the video, and then everything seems to be good now. But yeah, I just thought I would share this on my new YouTube channel as well, just because it kind of shows a little bit of what I do on the other YouTube channel. Even though I don't usually do voiceovers, this is the first time I've attempted a voiceover. I just thought it would be kind of a nice intro to another part of my life.
And without any more ado, let's get to the video and have a look back to the Silver Championship game. Welcome to A League of Our Own Baseball. We are located at Glen Williams, just outside of Georgetown, Halton Hills, Ontario. This is the Silver Division Championship game.
Hey, right.
This game is Extreme Steel versus St. George.
I like that float.
In A League of Our Own, the teams are named after our sponsors. Extreme Steel is playing a back-to-back as they had to win the game before this in order to make it into the finals. And Mike with a 731 on-base percentage trying to get his team off to a fast start, and Devo says no. And now Ryan with his opportunity to get his team on the board. He takes the first ball as a strike. And he grounds it to Ray. Ray up with it and over to first, and that is 2 outs. So in A League of Our Own, it is a double elimination playoff format up until the final game, and then it is winner take all on the final game. St. George went perfect through the playoffs, winning all of their games. Extreme Steel lost one game and had to play the previous game immediately before this game, giving St. George a huge home field advantage, not having to play back-to-back games.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Steven trying to get his team off to the start that they wanted, and he does just that. He gets it in. He's headed for second and in there with a double. Excellent work by Steven. Next up is Michael. Michael is definitely one of the hitters in the league that pitchers definitely have to be aware of. He has power, he is a good contact hitter, all around excellent player, and you have to be very careful what you do as a pitcher to Michael. And just like that, he takes it deep to left field and off the fence and out. And with that, Extreme Steel takes the lead, and Connor is going deep as well. Connor takes it out of the park just as fast as it came in. I will note that in a league of our own, on a home run, you can immediately walk off because you have to go get your own ball, so we don't make the home run hitter go and do the bases. It speeds up the game dramatically. And here we go again, and the ball is up in the air, and that's unfortunate. The ball drops in, and I might be a little biased as I am the coach and a player on St. George. So I am just slightly biased on this one. Now Steven has an opportunity to take care of that miscue and see what he can do to drive in another run for Extreme Steel. And Steven gets out, and he drives it to right field, and Greg makes a fantastic catch. Now Patrick is getting an opportunity to lead it off for St. George. He was one of our most valuable offensive and defensive players on the year. And let's see what he can do to get us back in this game after falling down 3-0.
Little high.
Oh boy, go get you, man.
And with that, Patrick showing some patience as he lays off that high pitch.
2-0. 3-0.
And Extreme trying to mix it up by throwing a high one and then a low one immediately after, and Patrick having none of it.
See you, right?
And Patrick saying, yeah, you have to show me a strike before I swing. So good job on Patrick being very patient and team player. And he drives it up the middle. Great hit by Patrick starting us off. Now Ray steps into the box. He's in his first year in a league of our own and definitely had a fantastic offensive year. Let's see what he can do here. And he also drives it up the middle, and that's in as well. St. George looking to catch up and get back into this game, and Craig steps into the plate. Craig is one of the most valuable power hitters we had in our team, leading our team with 13 home runs, more than double the next player. And that's with not joining the team for the first 3 or 4 games as we needed some assistance. And he definitely helped solidify our team and put us in a position that we're in the Silver Division Championship game.
Right. 31. Ball 4.
And Extreme staying away from Craig's power and walking him, which is never a bad decision. James following him up, though, also has some power. He had our highest average at 830, and he also had 6 home runs and limited playing experience through the season. And he can definitely do it, but it's not going to be on this at bat. And, well, this is me, and I was a little excited to get into this game, and I just swung at a horrible high pitch. And I think anyone that's ever played the game knows sometimes when you're thinking about how bad a pitch you took, you try to be patient on the next one, and yeah, that was down the middle, and I watched strike 2, and now I just swing at a horrible pitch because, yeah, I was in my head. So let's hope I can do better in the next at bat. And Devo steps into the box. He's the one that made the fantastic catch out in center field already, as well as Ray. He came to our league this year.
1-1.
Devo had a bit of a busy schedule and didn't get to play too many games, but as the season got towards the end, he got stronger and stronger and is definitely a key member of this team. And when he is there, it made our team much better defensively. And he is looking to continue that hot streak that he's been on lately. And he flares it over to second base, and that is an out. And Trevor wasting no time with a drive to left field, and he's going to second. Excellent hit to start it off. Way to go. Oh, wait a second. He's going to go for third, and he is out. Great relay from left field, from Patrick to Ray to Craig, making that tag. Way to go, guys. Way not to give up on that play. And James picking up the little dribbler back to the pitcher, and this is the start St. George wants after a quick inning on our end. And Tyler's in the box, and he hits it down to first base. And yes, this old man does not bend as well as they used to, and that got by me. So Tyler's on first, and Matt is now up. And Matt pops it up to second to Mitchell, and Mitchell makes the out. Excellent job. And James being the pitcher with a great inning there, and the team making the plays to end that inning nice and quickly. And again, this is the way St. George wants to get back into this game. And Terry, which is one of the better hitters in the league, is going to try to get St. George going, and it is in there, and he is on first. Terry is suffering from a little bit of an injury, so he will get a pinch runner. The pinch runner has to be the batter that is farthest away from hitting again. Typically, that is going to either be the last out or the last run that's scored in an inning. And Chris drills it up the middle, and it moves the runner. Excellent. And he's actually going to get in there to second. Good heads-up base running by both Speedy and Chris. And Greg is now up to bat. Just to make it confusing, we have a Greg and a Craig, which can be a little confusing when you're calling out all their names at the same time. And there was a little bit of controversy on that play. The ball was thrown out of play by the outfielder, and the umpires met to discuss it.
2-0.
On an overthrow like that, the runners are supposed to get 2 bases. 1 base was given, but they stay consistent for the rest of the game, and that's really what matters, is that they called the game consistently.
Two balls, one strike.
Greg is also in his first year. He had taken several years off in baseball, and like some of the other players that had taken some years off, you could see him getting stronger and stronger as the year went on, and is a very valued member of this team.
Full count.
And he's battled it into a full count, being patient and fouling that ball off. And he fouls off another pitch. We have ourselves a pitcher-batter duel here, and who's going to be the one that blinks first on this back and forth?
Inside ball.
And Greg must have said something to the pitcher because he threw at him, and he will take his base as he got ball 4.
See you, right?
Now Mitchell is up.
Outside, 1-1.
Mitchell has saved his best baseball for the playoffs, coming up with his best performances in many of the games leading up to this one, as Greg heads up, runs, and takes second base there. So there is now runners on second and third, with Mitchell an opportunity to drive them in and get a couple more runs and tie up this game.
2-2.
Drives it down to third base, but the throw gets away from the first baseman, and another run will score. And with the overthrow, the additional run will score, and the game is tied up. And that is a phenomenal change of events for St. George. You never want to be down too long in a finals game, because the team starts to feel a little bit of a tension, feels a little bit of heat, and maybe tries to overdo things. So now that everything's tied up again, it gives us a chance to take the lead, and Tom is the batter, and he does just that. He takes it deep over center field to give St. George their first lead of the game to make it 5-3.
Thank you.
And just like that, we're back at the top of the order. After the bottom of the order did most of the damage so far for St. George in this game, let's see what the top of the order can do.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No balls, 2 strikes. Inside. 1-2.
All right.
Right there, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to because I can't get the money from everywhere else, right? Because everything else is balanced, right? Yeah, yeah. We're just gonna have to put it in.
Strike 3.
And it's not beyond this at bat, as the extreme pitcher takes care of Patrick, but Ray says, I want a chance, and he drives it up the middle and goes to first base. And again, Craig is up to bat, and he has again been one of our strongest hitters all year, and he drives it down to third base, and the third baseman makes a very nice play to get him out at first. So at the end of 2 innings, St. George is up 5-3 on extreme. Very close game so far after 2 innings. Let's see what Extreme Steel can do in their half of the third. And Mike says, I want the lead back. So he makes his way down to first base after a very nice solid single through the left side of the diamond. And Mike's like, no, first isn't good enough. I'm going to go to second on that wild pitch. And Ryan trying to take advantage of Michael taking the extra base, and Patrick saying absolutely not on my watch, and makes a phenomenal catch.
Steer, right? 1-1. That one floated right in. On a play, leave it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now Peter trying to take advantage of the man on second and see if he can drive it in and pick up his teammate. And he drives it, and can Patrick do it again? No, he can't do it again. But great hit on Peter's part, and Michael, of course, is taking advantage and getting all the way home. And of course, Extreme has 2 Michaels on their team as well. So the other Michael steps into the batter's box and he hits it. And how much does he have? It drops in. And just like that, it's all tied up. And Connor trying to take the lead back for Extreme. And he hits it down to third. And the play is made at first. And just like that, the runner is caught sleeping as he's walking off, thinking there must have been 2 outs, and he is out at second in a rundown. Good execution by St. George to end the inning, and it is all tied up 5-5 going into the bottom of the third. James has done a great job pitching, and now it's his opportunity to make a difference with the bat as he steps in,
2-0.
trying to break this 5-5 tie. And he hits it down the line, just fair to get St. George going. And look at this, it's my opportunity to do something, and I don't do anything on the first pitch, that's for sure. And I also go down just inside third base to move James up to second base. So now we have 2 runners on for Devo. And Devo dribbles it back to the pitcher and uses that speed, and he beats it out to get the bases loaded. Now Speedy is up. Our 2 fastest guys on the team back to back.
I know. Everything right above my head.
And Speedy decides that he wants to be nicknamed Powerhouse or anything you want to do with power, because he just hits it out, and I know that was an extremely lame joke.
Didn't see that coming. Trying to make up for the last game. Remember last game?
Better.
That was 100% that moment.
Inside.
And after Ray's second home run of the year, Terry steps in to bat, trying to keep this hot momentum going.
There's his follow-up. Yep. 1-1.
Let's go, Terry.
He lines it. Oh, almost caught there at second base, but Terry sneaks on to get to first base, and again, he will get a pinch runner. And Chris is now up to bat, trying to make his mark on this game.
Strike 2. 1 ball, 2
Chris
strikes.
had a good season. He had over 30 hits this year, along with 4 home runs.
2-2.
But not to be on this play, or is it? Oh, that's why you don't give up, and that's why you hustle all the way down and you don't stop, because you never know what's going to happen. And here comes Greg. And Greg hits it to center field, and a very nice play there by their center fielder, but it drives in another run to make it 9-5 for St. George. And Mitchell comes to the plate, and just like that, Mitchell hits it out. Mitchell hit his first home run here in the playoffs, and he waited until this moment to get it. What an absolutely fantastic moment to get your first home run of the season. Hopefully you can hear over me talking how excited the team was for Mitchell in that moment. That was a really fun moment for team sharing.
Boy, Mitchie. Way to keep it going.
And like that, with Mitchell putting the team on his back and driving in some very, very crucial runs, Matt steps into the box. Now that's actually a little bit of an inside team joke. His name is Tom. I may have called him Matt one day, and the team never, ever, ever let me live it down. Matt was also a strong contributor to the team this year. He had a couple home runs and 28 hits.
One and two. Two and two. Two right. To the right, to the right, to the right, right.
If I get to play with Tom again next year, I'll have to try to continue it. Whenever Tom does something well, I'll have to say Tom did a great job, and if ever Tom makes an error or does something wrong, I'll have to say, that damn Matt, he made a mistake. Oh, and he got jammed, but is it enough? Oh, what a great hustle and a slide. You don't see a slide at first base every day. It definitely confuses everyone when you see that happening, and he was safe. Patrick stepping into the box to make his mark again.
1-1. Oh! 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Count as being fair for Ricochet's hit today. The count as being fair for Ricochet's offensive hit today.
Just one, Matty.
And Patrick with his best drive so far of the game, just over the right fielder's arm. And he stretches that into a double, having men on second and third, with Ray getting an opportunity to drive in a couple more runs.
Oh! 1-1.
And Ray driving it to right field, and does it drop? It does drop. Driving in one more run, and St. George trying to take a commanding 12-5 lead. But this is a very offensive league. There is no mercy, and it is not uncommon to see 10 to 15 runs hit up in an inning. So Extreme is not even close to being out of this game, as Craig hits one towards shortstop and gets a little bit lucky, as it might have made it through a very good shortstop.
Two and oh. Bravo!
The team reacting to the fact that over top of the mesh on the backstop, an extra ball came flying down after James fouled that ball off the backstop.
2 balls, 1 strike. One.
And James with another hit up the middle for 2 more RBIs. Excellent timing.
Get up.
And of course this bum comes to the plate. This bum being me, of course. And let's see what I can do because I don't remember. And a nice hit up the center. I might have to take my self-loathing insult about myself back. So in the playoffs, we do a double elimination up until the final game. So in this case, one team had a perfect record and one team actually had lost one game to get there because you had to be eliminated twice. But once we get to the final game, it's a winner takes all. It just saves us having to extend the season multiple weeks and get more games in there for every single team, because by doing it this way, it adds just so much more to this final game. But it is a double elimination up until this game, and once you get to this game, it's winner take all.
The other diamond, that would have been popped up.
The team, though, that had the perfect record gets home field advantage big time, because the other team, which had to play the extra game, had to play a back-to-back game. So at this point in this game, you can kind of start to see a little bit of fatigue setting in on Extreme, as St. George has been able to score some more runs, as it was very close in the first couple innings. But again, this game is not over. But that back-to-back game really can fatigue your pitchers and really makes it an advantage for the team that went perfect up until the finals game.
Ball 4.
And Devo with the walk to load the bases and give Speedy another opportunity to be a hero.
Digging worm? Digging worm?
I know, it's kind of low, right?
Kinda.
Or his wacky flies and hit it out. So, hey. I
Happy Gilmore like that shot.
Find somewhere in between, Speedy.
Inside, 1-1. You all right? 21. Yeah. Boom! 2-2.
Swung it low, we swung it high.
I like them all. I don't discriminate. Oh, God. I see a bad joke coming up.
And Speedy with another long drive, but the center fielder has this one. So he did get the home run earlier in the inning, but not to be on this one, and they do prevent the runner at third from scoring.
Inside.
Good eye on you.
Boom!
Oh, there it is. There it goes.
Off it. Leave it. 1-1. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that first word. Strike 2. 1-2. 2-2. A little high, full count.
Way to work it, Terry.
Oh, one photo on us today.
Stop. Ball.
Hey, another live GT. Go, baby.
And up to this point, Terry's really been battling it. He had suffered an injury earlier in the season, and somewhere around this point of the game, I remember him coming to me and kind of saying that it was hurting more, and we just basically had to be a little bit careful at that point and alter some of our defensive lineups just to make sure that he could play first or sit on the inning, just due to the fact that he was hurting. And James back out to pitch for St. George after Extreme ended that inning. And the very first batter, I believe that was Kyle, makes a nice hit to get on.
2-0.
And Steven wanting to get his team going again, and he hits a really nice one up the center. And can he stretch it into a double? Absolutely. Great hit by Steven, trying to help motivate his team and get his team back in this emotionally and on the scoreboard. Trevor's got a couple home runs on the season as well, so you never know who's going to hit it deep on you and change a game like this, as he drives it to center field and it drops in there in front of our center fielder, and 2 runs come around to score.
That's it. Points on the board.
That hit's got to make Trevor feel good, kind of getting his team back into the mix. Now Ryan Drysdale is stepping into plate, and he also can make you regret a pitch. He's a very consistent hitter, and nobody on this team makes you kind of feel like it's over. But there's some really good hitters on this team, and this team actually spanked us around really bad earlier in the season, and I can't remember the exact score, but it was pretty much a double score, like a 30-12 type game. They beat us bad. So we're not taking this light at all at this point, as Ryan takes the walk.
Show us how it's done. Two and oh.
As Tyler steps into plate here and fouls one off, he's got 32 hits as well on the year, and usually typically the best hitters in the leagues are somewhere between 30 and 40 hits. Again, we're a very offensive hitting league, so the hitter definitely has the advantage in almost every situation.
Well, dirt don't hurt.
2 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1. Oh,
You want to switch it?
time. Three balls, 1 strike.
And Tyler hits it to second base, which is Greg over there. He shovels it on over and gets the out at second. As anyone knows that's ever played baseball, catchers are extremely valuable because most players do not want to sit down and crouch the entire game. So Matt has been a catcher pretty much, I think, since day one in this league, and that definitely makes him a valuable player because every team needs that guy that's willing to catch. And one more run crosses the plate there, and Trevor doing a good job there of sneaking in there on the ill-advised throw down to second base.
That's the one. Strike 2.
That, and on the pass ball, Speedy making up for it with making a perfect throw down to third base to get the runner. So making up for the last throw to second base. Great job, Speedy. And Matt getting on top of one and rolling over on it, and it going to Ray, and Ray's not going to miss those. Ray's a very good defensive player.
I hope so.
Kuno. Oh!
Yeah, it's okay, he's used to that.
Strike 2. 2 and 2.
Sorry.
And Chris with a little chipper again to second base, and up with a great throw to first base to get him. Excellent defense on extreme. Greg is up to bat now. We're really fortunate this playoff season. Every September, you kind of have to worry as the weather starts to change, and many Septembers we ended up with at least one rain out, and then you get pushed back. We used to do a weekend tournament on a Saturday, but most of the members really had taken Mondays off the entire year to play ball, and they wanted the playoffs back on the Mondays, which we did for the first several years of the league. So we did move it back so that we played on our normal night league, but it does make us more susceptible to rainouts at this time of year. And Greg gets a great drive up the middle. And Greg with a heads up advance to second base there on the wild pitch. And again, Mitchell, he's been so spectacular this entire playoffs, hitting his first ever home run in the playoffs in this season and his earlier at bat in this game, and just continuing to drive the ball well. And not on this one, but you can't get them all.
You're up, you're up, you're up.
Step. Take foul!
Do you want another? Come on, Pat.
Foul ball on the play. Ball in. 0-2. Sorry.
Nope, behind you. I've done that before.
A little high. 1 and 2.
What are you going to do, right? Absolutely. Never realized. Nice.
Think about it. It's not coming to you. Oh, no, it is.
And Ray with another hit up the middle. Ray's consistently had a good night, both with the glove and with the bat. And Craig, our heavy hitter, gets an opportunity now with 2 men on board.
Strike 2. No balls. Strike 3.
And for anyone not sure what just happened there, there's 2 outs. So with 2 outs and a drop third strike, everyone can run, and everyone was heads up, because if someone forgets this, it's an easy force out or picked off play to end the inning. So good heads up play by every single person on the field.
One and one.
Matt doing a good job getting up and getting the ball there, not allowing a runner to sneak in there. It's one of those things that's so underrated as a catcher that gets up quick and gets that ball, because otherwise that runner at third is scored. The other option is it could also go out that hole to the other bench, and then it's an extra run or 2, and that is not good. So a good catcher like Matt jumps up and gets that ball quickly. I know before this at bat, James was just dying to get up there and launch a ball. He really wanted to hit that ball out, so walking kind of killed him a little bit inside. He was hoping to get another home run to get 4 RBIs. As much as James wanted that moment, it's a good sportsmanship and team player to take that base when you're given it and move it on to the next batter, which at this point we'll see what I can do with this opportunity. And I got lucky there that it got down before Peter could get to it. He's a pretty quick pitcher, and he catches a lot of those little pop-ups or loopers around home plate in the pitcher's mound because he's pretty quick.
Oh, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes.
And right back up the middle, and luckily Craig did some dancing, so I didn't hit him to get another RBI in. Glad to be able to step up and help add to the lead. Devin coming to the plate with his opportunity now.
2-0. Three and oh.
Again, we just got so lucky with the weather. Again, a lot of us are wearing shorts and t-shirts still. This time of September, especially on the late game, you know, it's probably getting close to 10 o'clock at this point, and it is just so comfortable and so enjoyable.
Especially in the playoffs.
Full count. House ball.
And Devin with a little pop-up to Connor. Connor is not going to drop that. And he ends the inning and moves it on. For St. George, most of that damage was actually done with 2 outs, which is always hard when you're the defending team or the pitcher on the other side.
See you, Rick. 1-1.
It's always hard at this point in the game as a coach to make certain decisions. We are up by quite a few runs, but this is a team that can come back on you very quickly. Usually at this point of the game, myself and James will switch positions. He has pitched a great game. He's only given up 8 runs to this point, but he hasn't been pitching as much in the last month or 2, so kind of figured at this point it was a good time to make that switch because we normally do. But as a coach, you want to also make sure you're being fair and doing the right thing for the team, and you just never know until it unfolds.
Full count. Ball 4.
And definitely not the start I wanted to get off to by walking the first batter.
One and one.
And again, this extreme team has had to play since 6:30 this night, and again, it's about 10 o'clock now, and back-to-back games can be difficult to keep that momentum going, but there's no quit in extreme. And again, they did beat us down pretty good earlier in the year, so nobody's feeling like it's over at all. And of course, just like that, the ball goes up to shortstop and takes an extra bounce, a bad bounce on Ray, and another runner's on. So now all of a sudden you've got someone on third and second, and this game is far from over. And Peter just loops that into right field, scoring another run. And now there's an opportunity, and they take it. They move the runners again, scoring 2 runs in total, and now Peter is at third. Excellent heads-up base running and taking advantage of the mistakes of St. George. Excellent.
A little high, 2-0.
And Michael coming up to bat right now. He really is one of the more dangerous hitters in the league. He has had some really good seasons since he joined.
See you right. 31. See ya. Full count. Ball 4.
At that point, with a full count, I was still trying to pitch Michael extremely careful. I was trying to miss a little bit closer, just not give him anything that he could just drive out of the park. Unfortunately, I missed a lot more than I wanted to, but in the back of my mind, he was a candidate to walk from the very beginning just because I didn't want him going deep. But the next candidate can also go deep, so you do pick your poison, and sometimes you do a unintentional walk where you're trying to strike them out, but you're also trying not to give them anything they can drive, and if you walk them, you walk them.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And Connor hitting it up to shortstop, which again, Ray's a very sure-handed shortstop, but it just snuck through, so Connor did make me eat that decision a little bit, but it's still only 1 more run. And again, no easy outs in this lineup at all. And of course, he hits it out into right field. Again, mentioned earlier, we had to make some defensive changes just because of injured players. So we did have to have someone at second base that doesn't play second base typically. And we just started moving people around that typically aren't in those positions or don't play them as much. And unfortunately, it did kind of bite us a little bit in the butt in this inning. I really do like throwing the ball to Craig, and after not pitching yet in this inning, or this game I should say, I really wanted to throw to him just because I can throw a little bit harder. I can be a little bit more recluse, so to speak, because he's going to do a really good job receiving the ball. So it gives me a little bit of comfort. And we finally get our first out as Ray brings that one in. And because there had been a couple little bobbles and a couple runs scored, I might have been feeling the pressure a little, really trying to get that play, and I messed up. And that was all on my fault. And that's one thing I always try to keep in mind as a pitcher. You know, it's really easy when you see a ball take a bad bounce or someone just not make a play. It's really easy just kind of stomp on your glove and get all upset and mad and kind of eye the player that made the error. But especially as I get older, half the errors I would have made as well, because I'm not as good as I was 20 years ago either. So there's just no point in me getting mad when a player makes an error, because I know I'm going to make those errors too.
Ball! Ball!
That was a late swing. Yeah, my hopes up for a second.
High five.
It was just faster than I thought.
Just throw it in, I'll switch it off.
Yeah.
And just while we're waiting for the ball to come in, just give a shout out to Norman Shaky for calling a very good game on this night. At this point in the game, the grass was starting to get a little bit moist, and you had to wipe down the ball every time the ball came back in from the outfield because it was wet. Ryan not wanting to go away, and let the inning end. Drives the ball towards third, and unfortunately another self-inflicting error on our team, and kind of keeps it going, but they scored another run. And Terry, injury and all, makes a very nice play there to get the second out, but another run does score. Nobody's feeling like this game is over, and thankfully the sure-handed Ray gets the next pop-up and kind of ends that inning, because you could definitely tell the nerves on the team and just a little bit of people playing out of position because of the injuries. We were struggling a little bit, and we just needed to kind of calm down, and that catch really did help the situation. So Speedy comes up to bat to try to get some of those runs back that we lost in the last half inning. I will say hats off to Ryan and the team, though, for storming back like that. It's good leadership on Ryan's part, because sometimes a coach can bring down the whole team. Sometimes one player can bring down the whole team. Extreme Steel is 100% in this game, and they basically don't give up, and that is absolutely fantastic as they get Speedy there.
See you, Rick.
And again, Terry just not giving into that injury, and he sticks in there, and he makes a nice hit, and you can see him struggling to get down to first, but he gets down there, and again, he'll take a pinch runner in Speedy.
Courtesy.
See you, Rick.
Chris has had a couple of nice hits already in this game, and he's in a nice opportunity to try to help bring back the lead that we once
A
had.
little high, 1-1. 2-1. Three and one.
Oh boy. One pitch. Hit yours, Chris.
Stay right, two. Full count.
And again, at this point in the time, our team is still very, very confident, but again, we're up against a good team, so nobody feels like it's a sure thing, but everyone is still very confident because we've offensively had a decent game.
Ball four.
And Chris with a good eye taking the base, so all of a sudden we have a runner on first and second with Greg an opportunity to add to the lead. You could hear there the bench joking around with Matt, the catcher of Extreme, about wanting us to throw the ball back, and again, he's just played 2 back-to-back games in that crouch. With 1 out, Greg drives it to center field, scoring Speedy all the way from first base. That's exactly what you want to do after an inning like we just had.
I'm like, good eye.
2-0.
I'm going to get yours.
See you, right? 21.
Again, Mitchell has had an absolutely spectacular
2-2.
postseason. He's had a great game, got his first home run already in this game. I think he had another hit or two as well. And he has been very hot, some nice defensive catches as well. And he crushes his second ever home run. And I'm going to tell you, the entire bench is just stunned how amazing a game he's had.
That's the number 1 and number 2 form of the season. Never hit. Mr. Rocktober, don't eat the camera.
And now Tommy gets his opportunity to step in after that impressive at-bat by Mitchell.
Foul! 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Everybody makes a good door, but not a good window. Although smoke, Speedy can stand there, you're all right.
Kick foul!
Three guys, if they stand there, they can cover the whole thing. Not mentioning any names.
I feel like that's how it's aimed towards.
And Tommy with another solid hit. He quietly had a very good game. Big time hustle, big time hits. And Patrick also looping one in.
Right.
Good cut, Ray. You wanted that one, I know that.
Ray coming up with possibly his last at-bat of the year for the league, and you know he doesn't want to go quietly, so he drills it into center field, loading the bases up for, again, our heaviest, strongest, most powerful, scary hitter for the other team with now bases loaded.
Two and out.
Oh, you're not used to that.
We do have a drop-dead time where we can't continue innings after. We're not quite in that range yet, but we are getting closer to it, so everyone is quite aware that every at-bat could be the last at-bat of the game, of the season.
Steer right. 31. Ball 4.
And again, everyone knows that Craig has the power, so yet again, another walk, which is honestly the smartest thing the other team could have done. They walked him pretty much the entire game, which is smart. And before James walked up here, he definitely said to me, he's like, I'm going to crush this out. And he goes deep and almost there. And in my head, I definitely was saying almost as he was celebrating watching it go and almost went out. I know how much he had wanted that to go out. But I also kind of, as a buddy, wanted to make fun of him a little bit for celebrating halfway down to first base. But he's given me an opportunity. And I took advantage of it and drove that to center field and out. And at that point of the game, because we are up against time, the other team decided they couldn't come back, and we ended the game.
Good here, boys. Yeah. Ends the year with a grand slam.
Another one in for good measure. Boy, great season, great season.
Again, that game might have ended on a large difference in the score, but Extreme never gave up, and they were right in it until that last inning. In another world, they get out of that inning quick, and they score 4 runs, and all of a sudden, they've won that game. And hats off, they played a fantastic game, and they had to play 2 games. We only had to play 1. They did a great job, and it was a fun game. It's really nice when you play a fun opponent.
You want to finish that? I counted completely missed all that.
And I'll also give a shout out to our sponsor in St. George, and once again, Shaky and Norm for doing a very good job umpiring. This is a team that had a lot of injuries throughout the season, had some ups and downs, but it was a really good, fun team, and everyone really had their backs and enjoyed playing with each other. And I can honestly say there's not a member of this team that I wouldn't enjoy playing again with, because everyone was total professionals. Even though it's a recreational thing, everyone handled themselves and became very good friends throughout the season. For those that weren't friends and those that were friends, it just continued, and it was a wonderful season.